All right, welcome to the Eford Studio. I'm Joe Giglio. It's the Ovius and Giglio podcast. Joining me today for Joe Ovius, who's on vacation, is Anthony Guerra. I think I coined a new term for you on Twitter yesterday, Anthony. I like this Oakwood Pizza Box Czar.
I'll take it. I'm good with that. I'm good with Czar.
Anthony makes the best pizza there is in North Carolina. I'm almost ready to declare you on the East Coast, but we'll just slow down. We'll take our wins where we can. We got Raleigh and North Carolina for sure.
We're just trying to get better every day. I'm taking it day by day, Coach. Thank you very much. I have trust in my team and the fans that help me get along, and it's great.
All right. So as Joe Ovius likes to say, we're very transparent about what we have going on here. So it's taken me 18 minutes to figure out how to get us in two different cameras on two different computers, hopefully on two different microphones, right? And the big test is going to be when I need to play the Victor Wembanyama clip from JJ Redick's on cover Old Man 3 podcast. So that's going to be the big test. That's later in this podcast. But so far, what do you think of the setup here? You are one of my sponsors. Are you proud of what's going on here? Are you dismayed?
I love this right now. I love the wall color for everybody watching. The wall color I clearly endorse with this sweatshirt and that wall. I did not get that memo.
You definitely look like a hostage.
Yes, I'm safe. I'm safe.
Okay. Yeah. You need to hold something up to prove to people I don't have you here against your will.
Yeah. Well, didn't Brittany wear yellow to get out? Is that what's going on there?
No, this is just me wearing my yellow in support of Wake Forest, because Wake Forest is on the brink of doing something that I gotta say might be the most impressive thing that we've seen in the last 30 years.
As a State fan, is this driving you nuts? Because this was supposed to be your run, right? Like this is your sport. The football, basketball, oh, whatever. Football, no, we're really good. Baseball is your thing.
It's supposed to be for Carolina. It's supposed to be for State. And it's the Holy Grail. It is the one title that has eluded the triangle. Now, Wake Forest did win it in 1955. So,
yeah, of course. Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody remembers that. I'm sure it was all the same, too. But from 55 until Virginia won it, I think it was either 14 or 15 when Virginia finally won it. The league never won the stupid thing. This is the dumbest tournament there is. And I always use Carolina as the example. Okay. Now, Wake Forest, 2-0 at the College World Series. They'll face LSU. LSU needs to beat them twice. Okay. They have it's a 75% chance of advancing. 75% of the time, the team who's 2-0 advances through the bracket. That doesn't mean LSU isn't good enough to beat them twice, but based on what I've seen from LSU, based on what I've seen from Wake's pitching, they're at least going to get to that final series. Now, they're going to have to beat another SEC team to do it, which has been my contention all along, that the SEC rules this thing. These ACC teams are kind of hopeless against the SEC because the SEC keeps winning this thing. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, they're not even the best SEC teams, right? So I look at this and I go, after they beat LSU, I was like, okay, this is real. They can do this. And that got me thinking, what would it mean for Wake Forest to win in Omaha? Now, Anthony, you don't always align yourself with your alma mater, but you went to Carolina.
Yes. I will align myself very strongly with Carolina baseball. Those games were the best. I lived in Erringhouse back in the day. We'll go throw it back.
Okay.
But my pitching staffs were Andrew Miller, Daniel Bard, Matt Harvey was on campus. Might have been doing other things other than studying on campus.
He was still effective then, though. He could handle it.
Oh, my God, the Dark Knight. Wow, that guy, those pitching staffs were absurd. Like, if it was a Major League Baseball team, we'd be winning games. Like, we're good. Just with the UNC staffs. The fact that they never won is shocking.
That's what I'm saying. It's the dumbest format in the history of the world. Well, Carolina went 7 times to Omaha since 2006. 7. They got to the final twice, lost to Oregon State, and it's like the one time they really should have beat them. The other time, okay, whatever. But the truth of the matter is it's a really difficult tournament to win. And Carolina, with all of their resources, all of their talent, all of their advantages, and they were the best program in college baseball over that span, could not win the damn thing.
And we had the Steinbrenner mojo, too. Let's not forget that. Steinbrenner connection to Chapel Hill.
I don't know.
Mojo, baby. Come on. But if George sends you money, that's more than just money.
Okay. Now, as you mentioned, State has been twice to Omaha because in this, in this dynamic, you had Duke and Carolina winning basketball title after basketball title after basketball title in the last 30 years. And I'm using 30 years because I got to the Triangle in 93, in the fall of 93. Okay. So I missed Duke's first two, their back-to-back years, but 93, the spring of 93, Carolina wins the thing. Spring of 94, Duke's in the final, right? And it starts a Carolina run where they're in the Final Four pretty much every year until the end of Guthridge, right?
As long as we're discounting the back-to-back from Duke, I'm good with that. That's fine. We don't need to count that at all. Let's just not count that. That's fine.
In this era, it doesn't exactly count. But here you have on the men's basketball side, Duke and Carolina winning left and right. Okay. Football side, it gets a little bit dicier, but Mac Brown was on quite a heater when I got here.
Yep.
NC State's had its pockets, but no conference title to show for it. This gets me to Wake Forest. And if you think about it, since 93, because we're going to talk about Duke versus Kentucky a little bit later in this podcast. Who would you rather be right now? Because if you think of it in this context, no one would ever pick Wake over the other three, right?
No.
Would you?
Yeah, no one.
Like lucidly?
Nobody would.
Probably not. But if you're a Wake fan, think about it. In that 30-year era, you arguably have the most memorable and important ACC championship in men's basketball, the 95 ACC tournament, the Randolph Childress year, where you beat Duke, you beat Carolina to win the thing. Now, Duke wasn't great that year, but they still beat them in the tournament, right?
Yep.
And Randolph Childress put together the single greatest ACC tournament ever. So you have that.
It's great run.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you don't have much else in basketball, mind you.
When was Tim Duncan's years?
Duncan led them the next year, 96. They won it again.
There it is.
They didn't get to the Final Four, but ACC, we talk a lot about what would an ACC championship mean to NC State basketball in particular. It hasn't happened since 1987. I think it would be fairly memorable, right?
Yeah, I was born in 87, so yeah.
And to have it in that particular way, where Childress pulled off an all-time performance, that's a pretty good feather for Wake Forest.
Phenomenal.
All right, so football-wise, I mentioned Mac Brown had that thing running. Never won the ACC championship, though. Finished in the top 10 twice, but never won the ACC championship. Okay? Wake Forest in 06 put together an 11-3 year. They legitimately won the league, and they went to the Orange Bowl legitimately, as opposed to Carolina's most recent to the Orange Bowl, which was a consolation prize. But what do we really remember about that team in 06? Strangely enough, it's the kicker. The kicker was unbelievable. Shouts to Sam Swank. So I get it. Nobody wants to recognize that Wake had. And again, we're talking about 95 and 06. So I get it. These are still kind of far away. But you have to keep in mind, though, in the history of the ACC, Wake Forest has the worst record in league play. From teams who joined in 1953, they have the worst all-time record. They've only won 32% of their ACC football games.
Yeah, don't they have a song written about them? Isn't that Deacon Blues? Deacon Blues is about the football team.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is. It is. I looked it up one time. Shout out to Patrick Hawthorne, the biggest fan of Steely Dan I've ever seen. I always wondered what the heck that song was about. It's about them because they always lost.
That's how bad they are. And so for them to pull that off, again, I know I'm talking about 95 and 06, but to do this.
Would you rather have sustained winning
in any of those sports?
Or the peaks and valleys of Wake Forest? You're always, every year you can compete around.
More sustained, right? But not they don't have the ultimate payoff though.
Correct. Are you more okay with that, or do you need
I'd rather have Wake's last 30 years than State's.
Win, be terrible for a few years.
Yeah, I don't mind being terrible.
Okay.
Now, there are people who go the other way.
Yeah.
Because we've had this conversation about UConn and UNC basketball or UConn and Duke basketball.
That's a good
UConn's got more national titles, but they also have more valleys.
Yes.
I would take the wins and I would eat the bad years rather than be in the tournament every year or make the Sweet 16 every year, which Dean Smith did for an ungodly number of years in a row.
No one ever lost with more talent. But that I would rather sustained winning is
no one ever lost with more talent. He won more games while he was coaching than anyone else.
Oh, come on. The talent on I'm a UNC guy. The talent on those teams were absurd. Absurd. He gets such a pass. He gets such a pass for not getting more titles. Those teams are
difficult tournaments to win.
Yeah, I understand how hard it is. But my goodness, when we get to the argument about point guards all time, I'll bring up my story with Steve Nash. But when you talk about some of the teams, the talent on those Dean Smith teams to lose with is so frustrating. It's insane. But also, I think a footnote in UNC football history, possibly close to my heart, because I'm a Butch Davis guy.
Oh, no.
He had a good program coming, and he got cut off. They cut him off at the knees.
Did you just say on my podcast that you were a Butch Davis
Butch Davis
guy?
guy, 100%. Great fan of restaurants, by the way. When he was in town, he was a great restaurant guy. He used to come in all the time. Great friend of the restaurant scene in and around Raleigh. Butch Davis. Funny as hell guy, too. Very funny guy. Great guy. But no, I thought he brought in talent to that team. They cut him off because they tried to, cover up the whole class and school thing that I wish I knew about. My mom would be so proud of me if I walked in with, if I got like 3 or 4 A's on my, here, Mom, look, my GPA is not really a 2.1. Like, look at this. I got these 4 A's in classes I didn't show up to.
What language did you take at Carolina?
Actually, I took Portuguese literature.
Portuguese literature?
Yeah.
What?
So, I don't know.
How does that count as a language requirement?
I have no idea. I almost didn't graduate Chapel Hill because they told me at the last minute that I needed a music credit. And nobody, whatever. We don't need to talk about this. This is terrible. Why do you need a music credit? I'm a history major with a minor in economics. I'm trying to take some business school classes. I'm just trying to get through and get out, make my mom happy and get out of here. And they were like, no. 1 more semester. You need to take the history of jazz. Although I do appreciate the class now. But no. That's I miss the language classes. I wish I had it. I'm not mad at UNC for doing it. I'm just mad that I didn't know.
Move on.
Speaking of Wake Forest, star third baseman Brock Wilken is projected to be one of the top picks in the Major League Baseball draft. I know who can help him find a home after he gets that big signing bonus, Hometown Realty. Check them out at myhtr.com for all of your real estate needs, residential, commercial, or whether you're looking to rent. Barry Woodard's team has more than 250 agents over 6 locations in Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Selma, and Atlantic Beach. So if you're looking to buy or sell, check them out at myhtr.com. You can also call them the old-fashioned way, 919-550-7355. And of course, after you buy that new home, you're going to need a lawyer to help you close on that new home. That's where Whitaker and Hamer come into play. Josh Whitaker, Joe Hamer, they got more than 20 years of experience, and they can help you close on a house. They can help you start a business, maybe sell a business, anything that's family law related. Whitaker and Hamer are there to help you. Check them out in Raleigh, Clayton, Fuquay Varina, Morehead City, and of course, all of the G's, Goldsboro, Gastonia, and Garner. Conveniently enough, they are located on the internet at wh.lawyer. That's wh.lawyer. Or you can give them a call, 919-772-7000. Tell them that the OG sent you to Whitaker and Hamer. If you're in Wilmington, did you know that you don't have to leave the beach to run a great business? Check out the Network for Entrepreneurs in Wilmington. You can find them at newilm.com. Jim Roberts' independent nonprofit support organization helps entrepreneurs with sales marketing, mentor options, and investor pitch training. New was named the #1 startup ecosystem in the country for cities with fewer than 300,000 people. Check them out, newilm.com. That's the Network for Entrepreneurs in Wilmington, where the river of innovation meets an ocean of possibilities. All right, so the NBA draft is tomorrow night, and Victor Wembanyama, if you've been hiding under a rock, is going to be the #1 overall pick. He's going to go to the San Antonio Spurs because, of course, if there's a generational talent available in the NBA draft, well, then the Spurs are going to get it, which is slightly annoying if you can't tell by my tone of voice, but that is the truth of the matter. Now, my question for you, and we're going to try to play a clip. I'm going to try to do this, but what do you think is a realistic expectation for the French Mamba, for Victor Wembanyama? 7'4", 237 pounds, can block shots, can shoot the three, handle the ball like a guard. Well, he's supposed to be the best prospect since LeBron James came into the league in 2003. What is a realistic expectation for Victor Wembanyama?
I watch Victor play, and I've seen a lot. We very big basketball fans in Pizza Box, so we argue basketball all day long. We watch a lot of hoops. The only thing I could ever say when I watch Victor play is, my God, I hope he stays healthy. Oh, my God, I hope he stays healthy. I mean, because the NBA was robbed of that body type is so hard to stay healthy. If he's
the only modern comp we would have is Chet Holmgren out of Gonzaga, and he was injured, missed his entire rookie year.
He did. I mean, listen, it feels. I'm nervous about it because I mean, Greg Oden gets labeled with that bust. They did whack him with the bust thing, but when he was healthy and Brandon Roy was healthy, that Portland Trailblazer team was really good. He just couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't get on the court. I just want to see this guy play against the best in the world.
You mean the Rudy Gobert clips are not enough for you?
No. I mean,
you know what I'm talking about? Like he has some Ryan Harrow for NC State fans in him, where people are like, "Look at this mixtape, look at this highlight, look at this." But the thing that it did impress me when he took Gobert.
Yeah. No, listen, I think he's incredible. No, I have his talent is off the charts. For him to move at that skill set's crazy. And I mean, I look a lot. He's like a longer Durant to me, and people don't bring him up because he plays from the outside in. Like Durant would, that long, lanky body. I remember when Durant was the second pick, and there was a lot of talk about he could not bench 135.
Right. At the combine, yeah.
At the combine.
Well, I look at him, and my two comps for him, Holmgren obviously won. We don't know what Holmgren's going to look like yet. But the guys who are actually in the NBA, my number one comp for him is actually Joel Embiid.
Oh, wow. But Embiid's built differently, though.
Yeah. So Embiid's 7 foot 280. So he's got 50 pounds on him, right? Embiid also didn't get into the NBA until he was 22. He was injured for his first 2 years. But in his first year, Embiid's first year, 20 points a game, 7.8 rebounds, and from three, 36%. This year, Embiid, in that first year, he made 36 and 98 threes. The big question for me from Wembanyama is, how's he going to shoot it? Because that's supposed to be what elevates his game, is this three-point shooting skill set. And this year, as a 19-year-old in the top French league, he only made 27% of his threes. Now, this has already been like, oh, yeah, Luka did the same thing at that age in the same type of competition when he was that age. I get it. I don't expect him to be Steph Curry. I don't expect him to be Ray Allen. But I think he does have to get to Embiid's level of that 37, 38% mark. And I'm not sure he's going to be – I don't know if he's going to be able to do that.
He's also going to be targeted heavy. He's going to be targeted heavy. I mean, you're going to put these guys – like, I don't – look at P.J. Tucker right now, right? Like, P.J., if he comes in and plays, do you think P.J. Tucker wants to hear about this French guy who's going to light everyone up and he's the best player ever and, oh, you guys you're nothing close to him. Wemby's the best ever. They are going to eat his lunch. It's going to be interesting to see him play that kind of physical, like a physical defender, like a Jay Crowder, like P.J. Tucker, who gets up on him. I want to see what he shoots. And it's not like San Antonio.
He can shoot over everybody, though. There's your Durant comp.
Yeah, but when you get in somebody, shooting over those guys that are right inside your zone is different than shooting with, against the French guys, a 6'4" French guy who's 3 feet off you is a little different than PJ Tucker in your grill.
All right, a couple more comps. Giannis, I don't know if he's as athletic. I don't think anyone's as athletic as Giannis, but
no.
Giannis is 7 foot 240.
He needs to find out
closer.
He needs to find out what Giannis did, young Giannis to modern Giannis, and there's some wink and eyebrow movement there of what happened with Giannis. From rookie year to now.
Here's Giannis at 19, 6.8 points per game, 4.4 boards, 34% from three. That was actually his career high 3-point percentage his first year.
How many 3-pointers? What's the total shots on that?
He was 41 of 118 as a rookie. Now, he only played 24 minutes a game. Embiid, same thing, 25 minutes a game. Here we go. Another comp, obviously, because of size, but maybe not position or skill set. Yao Ming. Yeah, I was 7'6", 310. Got into the league at 22, 13.5 points per game, 8 rebounds a game. Here's the most interesting stat from Yao. How many blocks per game do you think Yao Ming had as a rookie?
What do you have? 3?
You would think.
Oh, yeah, he probably had nothing then.
1.8 per game. Anyway, he was 22 years old. again. So we don't necessarily have this straight comp at 19, unless you want to go to the player who I mentioned. He is now considered to be the best prospect to enter the NBA since LeBron James in 03. LeBron, obviously, not the same skill set, not the same size, not the same body type. I'm just going to give you these numbers because I forget where you fall on the MJ LeBron scale.
I have a good LeBron. I'm warming up right now. Come on, go. Give me the numbers.
19 years old, LeBron James, 20.9 points per game, 5.5 boards, 5.9 assists as a rookie. Played 39 minutes a game as a rookie. That's a significant difference between Embiid and Giannis. Oh, and by the way, the year before he got to Cleveland, they won 17 games. His first year in Cleveland, they won 35.
His early run in Cleveland is one of the most amazing runs in the entire history of the NBA. What he did on that team was absurd. To compare anybody to young LeBron is a joke. It is terrible, and I don't like it. I don't like it because this guy is not going to take Boobie Gibson and Drew Gooden to the NBA playoffs. It's not going to happen. I'll bet whatever you want to bet. I'll take the LeBron side of this argument all day long. Only young LeBron can do that. Now, what you probably don't know is my father and I and my younger brother would travel the country and watch high school LeBron play.
You did?
He would play in Jersey. We would go down to Jersey and watch him play. We saw him play at Westchester High out of California. That team had Hassan Adams on it. If you remember, Hassan Adams who played at Arizona, one of the absolute freakiest athletes I've ever seen. You talk about quick twitch guys. Like, you just fly over somebody. See a 6'5" human just jump over other humans and, like, bang.
But LeBron won 6 games last year. How many do you think they win this year with Wembanyama?
What else are they adding? They got any free agents?
They have a Hall of Fame coach.
Oh, come on. Hall of Fame coaches drive me nuts when you have all-time generational talent.
David Robinson,
Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. Come on. If Manu
Kawhi.
Yeah. He was strong. Oh, he's such a good defensive coach. He had Kawhi and Tim Duncan. Come on.
All right, I get
plus the vets. No, I mean, listen, you want to put a 30 wins, 35 wins?
Plus 8. Is he not worth 10?
I don't think
so. As a rookie, probably not.
Hey, listen, I think not as a rookie, no. No. Am I drafting him? If I'm the Spurs, I'm drafting him. You have to bet on him being generational and him growing into his body and hopefully him staying healthy. You have to draft him. Nothing is anti that.
Well, he has to be the exception then to stay healthy.
Correct. Which I don't like betting on that personally, but you have to, if you have a shot at it, if you have a couple health, you got to shoot your shot.
That's not even the question. The question, though, and we've gotten into the hyperbole land of, the best prospects since LeBron. We've gotten into the hyperbole land of that his skill set is so rare. I don't believe that. I do think he has Embiid. I do think Embiid and Giannis have a similar skill set to what he could be. And I get that we're saying Wembanyama will ultimately be a better three-point shooter. I get that part of it. If you're going to be an all-timer, though, you have to be wired a certain way. Maybe not Kobe, but you got to be wired a certain way. And Wembanyama's he's up in New York. He's been doing all kinds of media tours. And he was with JJ Redick on his podcast. And I'm going to try to get this to work. And this clip, and there's going to be some swearing in this clip. We'll all get over it. We're adults here. But in this clip, I think I'm more impressed with this than I was his performance in that game in Las Vegas back in the fall. Because this is fairly amazing. Let me see if I can't get this right. We're going to share our screen. We're doing this on the fly, of course.
Somebody get Rand on the phone.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Seen this happen to a number of young athletes who lose, I think, a sense of reality. And they lose that grounding principle of their life. What is your totem?
What you just said about young players, this is something I've thought about a lot. I know I'm never gonna turn like this. Like, I know I'm never gonna lose a grasp of reality and just do some shit, because I know what I want. Like, I'm driven from the inside of my heart, and like nothing can put me out of my path. Like, I do everything I can, so I deserve what I get. And I think some players are really talented, physically or technically, you know, really, really talented, but their mind isn't like as good as their body is. You know what I'm saying? My totem is it's something bigger than basketball. You know, it's just life. It's just accomplishing yourself inside this universe. You know, when I need motivation, when I need energy, and I feel tired out, when I need a fight on the court, and it's hard, I always remember I'm free in that universe. I do whatever I can, and I know what I want to do, and nothing's gonna stop me from doing it. And I always got that in mind. And it doesn't just stop to basketball. You know, it's about life.
Fuck, man. Jason.
Well said.
Jason. He's reached enlightenment.
No, man. I'm not sure I'm really understood because you know, in French I know I can make myself understood, but in English sometimes I'm not.
No. You're understood. You're understood. It's very clear. It's very clear.
Now, do you think after that clip that Memphis called up his agent and said, listen, we know we can't draft you, but can you just talk to John Morant like once a day for 20 minutes or so?
I'm free in this universe. He's 19. What are we doing? What are we talking about here?
Man, that guy could do it all. No,
Seriously.
It's incredible.
And the most amazing part is the part that he made that he was cognizant of. Imagine trying to say that in French at 19.
No, I can't.
What do we do? Like, and I get it. It's not a superhuman strength in order to speak two different languages, but that's damn impressive in order at that age to verbalize what he just did, an elevated, sophisticated point in the way that he did at 19.
No, I paid a lot of money to learn Portuguese literature, and I couldn't do it in Portuguese. I couldn't do it in Spanish. No, French. No, English. No, probably not English either. I got to be honest.
I think he's going to be pretty good. Now we'll hit the number 2 pick in this draft because the Charlotte Hornets have it. There's been some discussion about Scoot Henderson, the other player we saw in that Las Vegas showcase, played in the G League this year. He's a wing. He's a scoring wing. It does look like, according to multiple reports, though, that Brandon Miller, the Alabama wing, 6'9", guy can shoot, can really stroke, will be the player that they pair with Lello. And I think that's fairly smart because I think they need a shooter to go with him. Are the Hornets going to get this thing right at number 2?
Isn't it the most Hornets position of all time to be so close to the right pick, but miles and miles away? Here you are. Now, do you have an issue? Do you take character into account here with Miller?
Probably. I mean, you're giving
because
him
it's not nobody brings it up anymore. That's gone. Like, no, he's a 6'9" shooting wing. He's got a great touch. Not a great quick twitch guy. What about his?
What about the time where his friend sent him a text to go get a gun and he helped his friend allegedly? Yeah, that time you mean?
I'm really a firm guy in. Well, if I'm drafting for a team, you're going to hand somebody this kind of money. Money, in my opinion, magnifies who you are. Me with less money, me with more money, it's just more of me, the way that I am, right? And if you have a small fault, sometimes it comes out. Hi, John Morant. Hello, Zion. Right? Zion has baby mama issues, which I don't know if you track that. Wild story. It's great stuff for a different podcast. But I just want I hope the Hornets have a great explanation of what is going on then, what happened then, what has gone on since, and the way we're going to approach it forward before we draft Miller and look at him just as a 6'9", 230-pound small forward out of Alabama who can shoot the rock. I don't have any issue with drafting Scoot if I think that Scoot is going to be a great player. If Scoot is going to be like Ja Morant on the court, then I'm great with him. I think people focus way too much on, I don't know how these two are going to play together. Now, put a bunch of great guys in a room, put a bunch of great guys on a basketball court together, and then you look at the coach and say, make this work. There's a way to make it work. 2 dominant guards is not a bad thing. It's not like you have 3 dominant big men.
No, you need more than one guy to handle the ball
100%.
and initiate the offense. If I'm the Hornet, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I watched G League Ignite late at night on my Synergy. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I've seen Scoot Henderson play once, and that was against Victor Wembanyama.
Yes.
And I will tell you, I was impressed.
Big time.
I was impressed because he knew what the stage was, and he knew what the moment was, and he stepped up to it. He accepted it.
Big time athlete. I like his athletic ability. I like his shooting. I personally, that'd be the way that I would lean without knowing him, the character, because we know the events in Alabama. We don't necessarily know who Scoot Henderson is, the guy, but I focus a lot on the guy because I'm about to hand you more money than most humans will ever see. So we're going to find out your flaws, right? We talked about the Kobe wiring or the LeBron wiring. What's absurd about those guys were the money just made them more of them, right? Like Kobe still shot 2,000 shots a day. He didn't change. He's still in everyone's faces about not doing it. LeBron is still working at his craft. The guy's he couldn't possibly spend the money that he has. He couldn't possibly, there's no reason for him to come back next year other than the fact that's just who he is. You got to find those guys to win.
What's up next? What's up next?
I don't know how Victor Wembanyama is going to turn out in the NBA, but I do know that the Butcher's Market has the best meat selection in the Triangle. It's not even close. Check them out at thebutchersmarkets.com. They have great steaks, marinated chicken options, including a jalapeno one, which is out of this world. Make their own hot dogs, sausage, and bacon. You can sign up for the Steak of the Month membership and get fresh, never frozen, hand-cut steak each month from July through December, starting with a 24-ounce T-bone just in time for your July 4th cookouts. They have locations in Raleigh, Cary, and Holly Springs. Again, you can find them online. It's thebutchersmarkets.com. A lucky listener is going to win a sleeve of these customized Pro V1s. I've already earmarked one, though, for Adam Stevenson at Breeze Through. When I tell you that Adam is a huge golf fan, I'm not kidding. Listen to this. This is what he came up with for the top 5 finishers at the U.S. Open. Ready? Ricky Fowler, born on the West Coast, he burst onto the scene and immediately grabbed attention with the color orange and his association with balls. He has deep roots in motorsports. After a few years and millions of commercials, he disappears, seemingly forgotten, then reemerges and reminds the nation why they all loved him in the first place. Ricky is 76 gasoline. Cam Smith, silky smooth and a cult favorite among true golf nerds for years. He accepted an undisclosed sum when he was at his hottest. Cam Smith is Wicked Weed Brewing. Scotty Scheffler. Scotty's a big Southern dude. He was picked last for the 2021 Ryder Cup, but played the best. And nobody will ever doubt his quality or consistency or exclude him from any American activity. Without much fanfare, he will show up and win against the other big boys for the foreseeable future. Scotty is a 25-ounce natty light tall boy. Rory McIlroy, who is Adam's favorite. Authentic and true to himself, Rory never tries to be anyone other than Rory. He is arguably the most talented player of his generation. Rory is unforgettable and a gravitational force. You cannot help but keep coming back no matter how many times you crash a few hours after consumption. He is best enjoyed when piping hot in a 32-ounce stainless steel, lifetime free Breeze Through tumbler. Rory is the Breeze Through blend coffee. There it is. There's the tumbler, just in case you needed to see the visual. And of course, the winner was Wyndham Clark. He comes out of nowhere to manhandle everyone with perfect focus and execution. He lives by the mantra, be cocky. And that mindset guided him to the pinnacle of his industry. His name jukes you out of your shoes, though. He sounds like a commercial real estate developer or the quarterback at Broughton High School. He delivers a great product that will live forever, but the real genius is in the details, like his club twirl on 18 on Saturday. Wyndham Clark is liquid death. Appreciate Adam coming up with those brilliant descriptions. Breeze Through, right across from PNC Arena. They got all kinds of other locations. Check them out on Pool Road before you head to a show, concert at Walnut Creek. Thanks again to Adam at Breeze Through for being a sponsor of the OG podcast. All right, we have a very NBA heavy day today on the Ovius and Giglio podcast. I'm Joe Giglio, Joe Ovius on vacation. He'll be back on Monday. I'm slightly proud of myself right now. I'm not going to dump the Gatorade yet, but I got the one clip to work. I'm going to try and Hey Joe, which is sponsored by the Oakwood Pizza Box, coming up to actually show the tweets today. So that feels like progress. But Anthony Guerra, the czar of Oakwood Pizza Box, joining us today. You are an NBA fan, so that's why we're talking a little bit more NBA than usual today.
Big hoops, Cab. NBA is great. Come on. NBA playoffs are the best format going.
All right, so we talked a lot of golf earlier in this week and last week because of the U.S. Open. So we missed Chris Paul being traded from Phoenix to Washington. He's probably not going to end up ever playing for Washington at 38 and with his contract situation. So this leads me, and some people are saying, now, wait a second, Chris Paul is actually better than Bradley Beal, blah, 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 blah. I love the trade for Phoenix because I love Bradley Beal. I also love Booker. Booker is my favorite player in the NBA. I love Devin Booker. I love guys who can shoot.
Why? Is it the Kardashian connection?
No, I don't even know about any of his nonsense off the court.
Okay.
I love guys who can stroke. And I love the way that he plays.
I agree with that.
Okay. So I think this is a great move. We talked about you got to have multiple guys. Well, this gives them multiple guys. So, but people are like, no, Chris Paul, this and that. But it's got me thinking about Chris Paul's legacy. Chris Paul's 38 years old now. Okay. Let's go over his resume.
Should we start? Let's start in high school real quick.
No, we can do all that. It's part of his resume.
Thank you. Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, that's what I want.
So Chris Paul, 38 years old. He's been an all-star 12 times. He's been all-NBA 4 times. First team all-NBA 4 times. Led the league in assists 5 times. Led the league in steals 6 times. He's one of 3 players in league history with more than 11,000 assists. He was on the 75th anniversary team. Those are all the pluses. Now, in terms of, I don't know how much you believe in John Hollinger's player efficiency rating, which measures basically all stats on their per minute performance, tries to take out tempo as well. He has the highest per of any point guard in NBA history. No, those are regular season stats. So that makes sense. But the highest. Okay. So statistically, you would argue that he is the greatest point guard in NBA history in the regular season.
I don't like that stat.
You can argue.
I don't like that stat because if you look at Kobe's number is terrible. It's bad in this, right? I should have pulled it for the show. If I knew you were using it, Kobe's number is unspeakably bad. And the younger generation, Joe, not you, not me, the ones younger than me, those kids who didn't see Kobe play, tell me about his per minute efficiency rating, and I go absolutely insane.
All right, I'm just using it as a benchmark to say, okay, statistically, you could argue that Chris Paul is the best point guard in the NBA, in the history of the NBA in the regular season. Where would you now? Of course, your regular season performance isn't what you're judged by. It matters, it counts, but it's not. I mean, what he's done in the playoffs has to matter. So this gets us to your question. What about high school? McDonald's All-American, West Forsyth. Surely they won the state championship in the state of North Carolina.
Absolutely. Come on. Who's better than Chris Paul? Best point guard all time.
They did not.
What?
Wake Forest, 2 seasons. They made the NCAA tournament in both of those seasons.
Yeah.
Went to the Sweet 16 his freshman year. Lost to St. Joe's. His second year, sophomore year, his last year, Wake Forest.
St. Joe, you mean Kentucky?
St. Joe's.
St. Joe's.
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Second year, they reached the second round, lost to West Virginia, Huggy Bear. I think that was a Pittsnogle team. 13-3 in the ACC. So they didn't win the regular season. They didn't win the actual ACC title in either of those years at Wake Forest. Obviously, helped the Suns reach the finals in 21, but he has no NBA titles to his credit. Conference finals with the Rockets in 18. They were actually leading the Warriors, one of the all-time great Warriors teams. Did not play in games 6 and 7. All-time in game 7s, his teams are 3 and 5. I don't know how to square his playoff failures with saying he's the greatest point guard of all time. But we can agree on who is the greatest point guard of all time, right?
Give it to me. Go. Come on. Say
we can agree.
Begins with a Matt and ends in a Jig.
Yes, obviously.
Okay, there we go. There we
Magic
go.
Johnson, number 1. Not even close.
Easy.
I've got Isaiah Thomas, number 2.
I have Steph Curry, number 2.
Okay.
You got to include, to me, the combo guards. That's a preface to this argument. To me,
no, I count Steph as a
point guard.
1.
And he's listed in the. If you look at, you got to look at the. People are gonna be like, no, he's an off guard.
I count Steph as a 1.
It's a 1. Steph is there. Titles matter to me. Performance matters to me. The guy changed the way basketball is played. He is the
he has changed the way basketball is played.
He is the Shaquille O'Neal of his position. Changing.
Okay.
Shaq changed the center position. Steph
but how did Shaq change the center position?
Oh God! It was Shaq had different rules. There's different rules for Shaq.
I know, but
there's different rules for Steph as well.
Your point about Steph, though, is, and maybe I'm just thinking it in my own lens here. He inspired a generation to play basketball 40 feet from the basket, 30 feet from the basket.
Absolutely.
Anybody can pick up a basketball and think, I could be just like Steph Curry. I could be this scrawny little kid and jack up threes. Never mind that his mom was an accomplished Division I athlete. Never mind that his dad was one of the best three-point shooters in league history. So somebody who won the genetic lottery is someone that we prop up as like this ragtag story of, well, see, anybody can do it.
Yeah, but he looks like you. He looks like you and me, though. Is what makes that possible.
What the
It's not that big.
coordination.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You and I don't have that, sir.
No way. No. I'm not doing that. But
you have Isaiah third, or you have?
I have Isaiah third.
Okay. You got the big O in this conversation, or no?
I do.
Okay.
I got Jerry next.
You do.
Jerry's next.
Okay.
The logo's next for me. Then I put the big O.
You have Jerry West before Oscar Robertson.
Yes. Oscar not winning I needed more titles. If we're gonna knock everyone for titles, I need him to win. I need more titles from him.
Okay.
If you're gonna be here.
Team success isn't always the number one.
The point guard is the floor general.
Yes.
The point guard.
That is the problem here.
The point guard is the floor general. I think that the expectation of a point guard is to win those games, control the game, right? I can think of
put your team in the best position to win
Game
games.
7 for the Rockets. It was the final couple minutes in that year that they should have won with Harden. Paul turns the ball over terribly 3 straight times. He doesn't turn those over. Houston wins. They advance. I can think about that kind of stuff where I need you to control the game and win. It's one thing if –
How about the last 2 years in Phoenix, the way that they've bowed out of the playoffs with an unbelievable regular season record? Like, those are his best teams, theoretically, his most successful teams. I'd argue his best work was done with the transplanted year where the Hornets were playing in Oklahoma City when he was super young, obviously. Yes. The Clippers teams, I think we have to give him credit. Like, you're 35, right?
Yes.
I'm 48. So I remember the Clippers being the absolute laughingstock of the NBA. I don't know if you do or not.
Yes.
The NBA, not only were they the laughingstock of the NBA, they're laughingstock of all of professional sports.
Yeah, that was certainly he was the worst owner at that point.
So his 6-year run there in elevating the Clippers, I think he does deserve some credit.
Yes.
For what he did with that franchise. I get the playoff success. They only won 3 playoff series in those 6 years, but he made them something.
Do you think Chris Paul wakes up every morning and curses David Stern
for not allowing him to trade to the Lakers?
That would change everything.
Yes.
If he had Kobe, it changes everything.
Yes.
Because that's what he needed.
Yes.
He needed Kobe to give me the.
Are we having a different conversation about Chris Paul, even if they just had won the Phoenix year where they played Milwaukee?
1,000%.
Because he's got a chip.
Absolutely. To me, yes, that matters. I mean, it wasn't one of the best of all time. You were going to supplant these guys we just said. You were going to go above Magic. You're going to go above Steph, above Isaiah, above Oscar, above Jerry. I need a title. Give me a win. Or give me a playoff series that you shouldn't have won, but you won anyway, right? Look at our guy LeBron.
Yeah.
Come on. He should have never won.
The consistency of getting to the finals.
100.
Even with some of those casts in Cleveland.
Come on. They should have never even been in the playoffs.
If the rumors are true and the banana boat is finally reunited, we have the reunion. If he ends up with the Lakers and they win, are we having another conversation? Are we changing his legacy? He would not be the primary reason, obviously, that the Lakers would win next year.
It wouldn't be LeBron either. It would be
probably
AD.
not.
It's only AD that they win.
Well, no, D'Angelo Russell would have to get his head out of his ass, which he didn't do in the playoffs this year.
Nah, that's never going to happen. That guy's not going to do it.
I like the move. He played well for 2 months.
100%.
He just didn't play well against Denver.
Like the move. It's just in the playoffs, everything is magnified. Yeah. You have to be that guy. D'Angelo Russell's it's tough to look at him and be like, here's the rock, maybe score. It's like, oh no. I think if he wins, I feel better. Does it feel like that Laker team with Karl Malone on it and Gary Payton in the old years? Maybe, yeah. It feels like a stretch trying to get a title.
Oh, yeah.
You know that? What was that?
Oh.
That was a rough.
Steve Nash too.
Yeah, Nash was around there somewhere.
Gross.
All really, really old. But we need a title. I don't. To be honest, at this point, I don't care how you get it. Just get one. Jason Kidd got one, right? He got the one with the Mavericks. He carried on. He was the starting point guard on the team. Dirk Nowitzki, obviously the bus driver. But the bus driver argument from Charles Barkley, of course, the leader of the team, is something that I believe this to be accurate. You got to drive the bus in order to be on this list. I need Chris Paul to drive the bus and win.
Housekeeping.
All right, Anthony, I'm very excited to announce that we have a new contest. That's upside down. But you can see these are legit Pro V1s. And look what I have made. I'm so proud of myself.
Guaranteed score better.
Yeah, Pro V1s with that OG logo you see up in the top right corner. So you would like to win a sleeve of these Pro V1s. Here's what you have to do. I want you to email the word square for Square Pizza, since Anthony's here today. I want you to email the word square to the OG Goes Digital at gmail.com. That's the word square to the OG Goes Digital.com. And we will randomly draw the winner. And tomorrow we'll announce who wins the sleeve. We'll do another sleeve next week. Get yourself a sleeve of Pro V1s, thanks to us right here at the OG. And of course, the Oakwood Pizza Box, Anthony Guerra. Anthony, thank you for being a sponsor of this production and this venture.
I'm just happy to be here.
We couldn't have done this without you.
I am just I'm sad Randy couldn't make it in today. I'm happy to not be in the old studio. For those people who don't, they can't say this. I can't be reprimanding anyway. The old studio is the most depressing place on earth. Julie and I would do show prep, and everyone around us would be it'd be like a funeral home. To walk in here and not have that energy on me, I feel good.
You feel good.
I feel good.
I feel good.
I mean, Gold was the most upbeat guy in the whole place, and he would stare around. Yeah, he's Gold. So that's I'm happy to be here. It's great to be here. New studio was phenomenal. The decor.
We're getting there.
There is, guys. Let me describe. There's tapestry hung on the wall here. The tapestry is beautiful. I've been to the Vatican. This is up there with that.
I can't tell you how happy I was yesterday when I went to Oak City Sports Cards in downtown Raleigh. And Holden, he told me, hey, we've had at least 5 customers come in here and say, we're here because of the OG podcast. So I appreciate everyone in going and supporting Oak City Sports Cards. I went yesterday, I got a box of Bowman U Chrome cards. Pretty cool set. Has college players. It's from last year, but still pretty cool. Got all the quarterbacks, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson. I also got Kate Klubnik from Clemson and Brennan Armstrong. It's in his Virginia uniform, but he's an NC State guy now. 2 autographs in each box. It's very sweet. Highly recommend going to pick up some of those. Most importantly, though, get your cards graded. One of our listeners, Jeffrey, DM'd me and said he went to Oak City to get some autographed cards graded. Smart move. To get the best value for your cards, you have to get them graded. And Weston is the man to trust and to help you get your best value. You can check them out in downtown Raleigh or at oakcitycards.com. You know what this rain means. The bugs are going to be here whenever it stops. That's when you call Mosquito Authority, Pest Authority. Hayes Lancaster and his crew is going to help you enjoy your outdoors for as long as you can, as long as you possibly can in these summer months. It's 919-807-1951. That's 919-807-1951. Check them out online. It's bugsbite.com or on the Twitters, No Mosquito NC. Again, anything in your backyard, anything in your house, ants, anything under your house, termites, moisture, anything in your attic, mice, you name it, they can handle it. Mosquito Authority, Hayes and his crew really are the best. Check them out at bugsbite.com.
Next topic, please.
All right, I started this 2 weeks ago when we were talking about would you rather be an NC State fan or a South Carolina fan? And the premise isn't who you are aligned with already. That the premise is you move somewhere new, you have to pick a team. Okay, let's just pretend we're moving somewhere where our choices are limited to teams that are blue and teams that are blue bloods. And you can't say Carolina and you can't say Kansas. So that leaves you choosing between Kentucky and Duke. So the question I asked on the Twitters was, what would you rather be, a Kentucky fan? And it's not just basketball, it's in general, right? You get everything when you're a fan of the school, or a Duke fan. And now I understand most people on my timeline are NC State fans. I get that. I think then I would go down to Carolina fans would be next. I think there's probably some Duke, but I would put like a whole mishmash after that of like Notre Dame, Wake Forest, the Ohio State, Clemson. Like these are all fans I usually hear the most from. Okay, and I think for the most part, Virginia Tech is another one. So I don't think Duke or Kentucky are really populating my timeline. So this is giving us a better gauge than I think of the South Carolina NC State poll.
I always like the Virginia fans to show up in your timeline.
They hate me with a fiery passion that I appreciate because I hate them with a fiery passion that I hope they appreciate. So let me see if I can get this tweet to pull up because it's always an adventure here on our own. And all right, so here it is. The results, as you can see, it was a landslide. We have Kentucky with 68.5% of the 699 votes to Duke's 31%. And I would just say to you, Anthony, I'm not surprised, or are you surprised as a Carolina guy?
Not surprised at all.
Okay.
Who's the most hated guy in Kentucky history? I mean,
that's a great point. You can't name one, but you can name
no,
5.
oh my God! You show me Wojo. I mean, JJ Redick has done a lot to rehab his image.
Yes.
He has done an amazing. He went from I hope something terrible happens to his shooting hand to why? Let me listen to his podcast. Let's see what him and Wemby are talking about. All right, yeah. Also, big wine guy as well. I appreciate that. Although I don't appreciate that the NBA is raising Burgundy prices and champagne prices. They're having an effect on the market. Don't appreciate that, but that's fine.
Let's go through some pros for each side. We'll go pros.
Yep.
Duke, 5 NCAA titles. Coach K, winningest coach in history. Their other sports. They have 17 NCAA titles. That's golf, lacrosse, tennis. They're players. That they
Football.
How do you hold on? We're in pros. We're in pros.
Sorry.
The players they currently have in the NBA. Jason Tatum, one of the best. Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson. These are all guys. Kyrie Irving. They get to count Kyrie. I don't know if they want to count Kyrie. That can also be a con.
I feel like all 4 of those don't have any dog in them. Do you think that's do they look like? Is that a thing at Duke is looking
what Tatum does now? And finally, they have the commissioner, Adam Silver, who might be the best commissioner in the history of any sport.
Oh, no, David Stern. Stop. David Stern. Easy. David Stern.
Those are the Duke pros. Let's go to Kentucky. 8 national titles. Last one was in 2012. You have coaches. Well, I'm not just talking about basketball, but you got Adolph Rupp, Rick Pitino, John Calipari, Bear Bryant, coached there for 8 years. That's a pretty good list right there.
What about my guy? He didn't coach there, but he went there.
Oh, we're getting to him.
Okay, thank you.
They have an iconic arena, Rupp Arena.
Yep.
The home of the most famous college basketball game ever played, Villanova Georgetown, 85 championship game. They have that SEC money. They have good NBA. They have their own cast of unbelievable NBA players in the league right now. AD, Booker, Murray, Cat, Fox, Monk, you name it. They got a bunch of guys right now in the league. Gilgeous Alexander. And then, of course, if we're talking about NBA icons and contributors, they have Pat Riley.
My guy, best coach all time.
Whoa. You're a Knicks fan.
Big time.
You're a Knicks fan, and you're sitting here telling me the guy who couldn't win a title with the Knicks when Michael Jordan was on a gambling golf vacation.
Yeah, but that was Hakeem Olajuwon. Come on. How the difference between Hakeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing is they're oceans apart.
Did Hakeem Olajuwon let John Starks take all of those shots? So let's pass some blame here, sir.
No. Come on. The Houston Rocket team is just that was a much better.
How do you figure? It was a 7-game series that the Knicks should have won.
Nah, the Knicks were never going to win. They never. Patrick Ewing is.
So Pat Riley is the greatest coach of all time because
look at what he's done with. Listen. All right, just look at the modern era. Look at what he's done in Miami. Right, his system is so good.
So he won a title with Miami, the Shaq, Dwayne Wade, the first one.
Yes, and he also set up the system that Spoelstra is now using.
Sure,
it's his system, right? He's demanding players to be under 9% body fat and getting these guys to actually buy into that. You have to be such a dude to make a pro who's worth $50 million not go out and eat, whatever the hell they feel like, but sacrifice for the team.
You okay with Adrian Brody playing him on the HBO series?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that. Yeah, the HBO series is good. When's it coming? Is it coming back?
It's coming back. There's a season 2 coming.
Okay. No, it should be good. That was a good series.
All right, let's go some cons now. We got Duke. They're elitist.
Yeah.
Football. I don't think I need to say more.
No.
Last year was good. And baseball. Now, last couple of years have been good, but for the most part, baseball's been miserable. They also gave us Richard Nixon. That's where he got his law degree.
Oh, yeah, that tracks. Okay. Didn't know that, but I believe it.
Okay. And also on the list of hateable players all time, you could probably find 9 Duke players before you get to a Kentucky player.
Oh my God, yeah, no, absolutely.
All right.
Do they have the most hated players of any college team? They have to be.
It all depends on your Christian Laettner viewpoint. I mean, I think that would be number one for most people of a certain age of hated. And then watching that documentary, like the way that he was treated was not right.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I agree.
The things that were chanted at him. I mean, I get that would not. Well, it would happen. It would just happen in a soccer game, but that's not right. The shit that was spewed at him and the venom that was spewed at him, which was basically anti-gay, was not right.
Yeah,
it's okay to dislike a player for what they do on the court, but to act like something else and to mischaracterize it, I can't. I don't like that stuff.
No, I agree with that. No,
you shouldn't tolerate
that. I agree. That is.
I just remembered that because I was in high school at the time, and when I watched the documentary and I saw the chants from LSU, and I'm sure it wasn't just LSU that was chanting the F word at him. Like
that's not right. I know 100%. That 100%. That said, I still don't like him.
There's many reasons not to like him, but we can also empathize with some of the stuff that he went through.
Yes, I can. But he seemed to feed off of some of that. Though.
He did. Absolutely.
I mean, listen, he's got to be in the consideration for the top 3 all-time college basketball players.
To be fair, he is the most accomplished college basketball player.
Where do you have
Kareem?
5?
It's hard because I think in the ACC, I have David Thompson above him in the ACC.
Okay,
that's it. In the ACC.
All right. Then who else above him?
Well,
Kareem.
You have there's other schools.
You go Walton above him?
No. Well, Walton's close, but he's not.
All right, so if Walton's not there, who's left? Pistol Pete? You going Pistol Pete?
No, because he didn't win anything.
No, but he scored.
Yeah,
no, but I mean,
2 different things. Like Tyler Hansbrough is an accomplished college player.
Yes.
Christian Laettner is an accomplished college player. That doesn't mean they're necessarily the best players.
I agree.
Are you catching a distinction?
Yeah, of course. I see you're trying to parse this here, but I mean, I hate Duke, but
where do you put Len Bias? Like, do you think Christian Laettner was a better basketball player than Len Bias? No, come on. Do you think Christian Laettner was actually a better player in college than Michael Jordan? No, but he did more with his team, and he had more consistent success, and he hit more iconic shots even than Jordan.
100% he did. Yeah, I mean the fouling jumper is the most that full court throw, the 3/4 court throw to hit that jumper in that moment.
In a perfect game, by the way.
Yes, that's absurd.
Yeah, we got off track there a little bit, but the cons for Kentucky, they're other sports. They are not good at other sports. Kentucky won a football championship in 1950 with Bear Bryant. They have not legitimately won one since. They were handed one in 76 after a forfeit, but that is retroactively, by the way. And their fans are complete wackadoos.
Do they hang
and complete wackadoos?
When you win by forfeit, do you still hang the banner?
Sure they probably
There's
did.
a banner up, right?
It's football though, so that and then I said the SEC money. Of course, the flip side of that is the SEC competition. And we talked about this with South Carolina. South Carolina's never won the SEC title in football, and I argue never will. Kentucky, once they change the format, which they will, the division format, they will have no chance going forward.
What about Will Levis, baby? Come on.
Well, they got Devin Leary this year.
Oh, that's right.
They got our guy Devin Leary. Shouts to Devin Leary, but
watch Devin Leary light it up. Watch him go nuts.
Oh, in classic NC State fashion, he's going to have an all-time.
It's going to be an all-time
question.
Yeah, healthy all year, lighting it up, lead the league in yards, just smash the SEC.
All right, let's get to some Hey Joe questions. Let's do this. Let's wrap up today's O+G podcast with.
We're moving on.
All right, check it out. Look at the graphic. Oakwood Pizza Box. Anthony Guerra's got the best pizza, not just in Raleigh, but in the state of North Carolina. Check them out on Person Street, right across from the world famous Krispy Kreme. Can't miss them. Or go to oakwoodpizzabox.com. Get your orders in. You can always go in and check them out. Sit at the counter. That's what I like to do on Fridays. And Oakwood Pizza Box is the sponsor of Hey Joe. You have questions. They're all real now. And we have answers. Let me see if I can get this to work. Let's see. You know me. I struggle a little bit with the technology, but I think I have it for us. We're going to present, share screen, put the glasses on. Yeah, this is great for the podcast. But we do have a lot of pizza-related questions today, so I do enjoy that. So let's start with Jim, our friend Jim Roberts. I met Anthony at Oakwood Pizza Box on Sunday. As I took my son there for Father's Day, I told him about being a sponsor for the podcast from Wilmington. Look at the reach.
I know the reach in Wilmington. That was awesome. It was good to meet you. Also, Joe, here's a question I have for you. At what age did you buy your dad dinner for Father's Day? Or for any day, really? Like, what is the acceptable age to where you have to, step up and take a bill?
Oh, boy. Now you're asking tough questions.
No, this is big. I mean,
the first time I ever bought my dad probably anything, like food-wise.
Yeah, like dinner. Like Dad,
rare,
I got dinner.
It's super rare.
No, really?
Well, he's one of those, I'm sure your dad's like, your dad's like my dad. Like, he's not going to let you.
No, he's never going to.
He's going to beat you to it.
100%.
Like, he'll sneak.
You got to beat him.
I mean, I've done it before, but I'm talking like, it would be in my 30s. It would have been in my 30s. Yeah.
It takes a while. I saw a lot of Father's Day people out. And I was wondering, I was thinking myself, my kids are little, 6, 4, and 2. I'm like, how long until they buy me dinner?
It's going to be a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a good one from Chris in Raleigh. Anthony, what kind of crack do you put in your pizzas to make them so addictive? I'll help them out. Asking for a friend.
I'm glad you enjoyed
put crack in the pizza. We should probably put a disclaimer in there. No, there is no crack.
That is correct.
In the
There's
pizza.
no narcotics of any sort. There's no treat. We don't even use sugar. No sugar. No. I try to eat pretty clean. It's the only way I stay alive. So it's all.
When did you make your first pizza?
22, 23.
When you were 23.
Yeah.
So 13 years ago.
Yeah.
All right. So how long did it take you to figure out what you were doing?
Oh God, it's hard. It took a while to figure out how to make something really good. Yeah, you can make something passable. Like you can make a passable bread-like thing with tomato sauce on it and cheese. Probably a couple of years before I was really making something that was very good. But I think one of the biggest things is you have to have a commercial oven.
Yes.
Without a commercial oven, like if I went to your house right now and we just used your oven, I mean, the pizza's not going to be great. Even if I make it and I bring everything, it's just not the same. So until you really start getting high heat, you can't make something that's great. It's not possible.
How much did your oven cost? Or how much does a commercial grade pizza oven cost?
Oh God,
to get a good one. I think you have two. One's electric though, which I'm not sure about.
No, that's like driving a Ferrari.
Right.
That's tricky. But it can go fast as hell. How much does it cost? It's way too expensive to put in your house. Putting in your house is probably going to be $100,000 plus because you got to put a hood above
6 figures for a good one.
Oh, for that? Yeah, for a commercial like at Oakwood, yes. But like you could buy a backyard oven for those little unis work well. I've used those. I'm not sponsored by Uni, but if Uni wants to reach out, we have people they can reach out to me. I bought a Gosney oven. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's like a little dome oven. You can put wood in there, light it up. That's fun. I had good results on that. Pretty good results on a grill. You're really just looking for high heat because once you start cooking it for longer than say 9 minutes,
Trouble.
Yeah, it's just everything just dies. Like nothing works.
How many dough balls a day do you make?
About 400.
You do not freeze
No.
any of your dough?
No, we go all ambient. So I'm intrigued. I was always intrigued with the way that pizza used to be made. Like back, what were they doing 70 years ago, 80 years ago? So
Pizza's an American creation?
No, Italian. Italian. No, Italy had that going in Naples for a long time. Those shops are all wood fired. Those shops would have fermented very similarly to mine. I do use a mixer, which I mean there are people who don't, but I don't have the hand strength for that. I mean that takes. If I had an offensive lineman on staff who could just like knead dough for a few hours a day, that'd be cool. But
So you make 400 dough balls a day
yes,
by yourself.
no, I got a team now. We there's like
Julio, Jesus, which one is in charge of the dough
no,
balls?
Luigi is.
Luigi.
Luigi's in charge of it. Luigi has every. He and I do.
Oh man, if I don't give Roger a shout out, I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
Yeah, Raj. Raj is the Raj
He's
is
the one facing pizza man.
yeah, it's correct.
He's the
correct.
top lieutenant.
Yeah, and he gets the he's the showman of the bunch. You know, he's out there. He's giving out bows. He's the kisses to the crowd, and
Has he gone back to the hat yet? Last time I was
Yeah.
in, didn't have a hat on.
Yeah,
I
no.
was like, well, I don't even recognize you.
the hat's back. The hat is back.
So 400 a day. What time you got to get up to do that?
Usually I usually walk in the door about 8:30 in the morning, and then roll through my day. Usually there's a nice little gap in between, which is my goal is to have like an hour window where I don't have to do anything. If I do that, it's a great day.
How long did it take you to come up with your sauce formula?
Oh, sauce. That took a while.
Because pizza sauce is different than pasta sauce.
Correct. Yeah, uncooked pasta sauce you're gonna cook. It took a while because you got to find tomatoes, and we always continue to look for tomatoes and batches of tomatoes because like any
You don't use canned tomatoes?
we do,
Okay.
but they're canned in batches, and if you're not careful, they send some batches are better than others, which will change, or some batches are more acidic than others, or some batches are, there's more juice or puree in them and less tomatoes, so the thickness is going to be off. I'm also never a big fan of the puree. I feel like those are like the crappy tomatoes that couldn't make the team. They just sort of like buzz them up and
Get 'em in there.
Get them to make money on this somehow. Make the can heavy here, but there's
So, only San Marzano?
no.
No.
I don't believe in San Marzano.
Do not.
No,
I did not know that.
I don't believe in San Marzano.
Really?
No. The region of San Marzano, have you ever seen it on a map? It's like this big.
You're
It's-
like breaking news to me right now.
Oh,
I
it's-
thought you only used San Marzano.
I don't believe in San Marzano at all. I think it's all a lie. It's a lie. How are there San Marzano tomatoes in Kansas right now in a Harris Teeter near your house? The size of San
You're
Marzano.
not buying your tomatoes from Harris Teeter. You
No. Well, certainly I can get, like they now have on certain tomatoes, you can get like the deed of like the farmer signing his name to that batch that promises that his soil is located here. But I mean, a growing region the size is smaller than inside the Beltline is making tomatoes worldwide. Come on. No, I don't buy it. I believe more that the Italians would maybe stretch the truth to possibly have marketing
What?
gain and create financial wealth.
No, the Catholic Church and fish. What? No.
Yeah.
That's not a real thing. Jesus really didn't eat meat, Anthony. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just a thought. I don't know. Just a skepticism that I have about the tomato. And by all means, look up the region of San Marzano. And it's also like there's a highway that goes through it now.
You double cheese too.
Double
You have two
cheese.
different types of mozz.
Yeah, double cheese. Double cheese is the key. Double cheese is critical.
Did you like the Keats video?
It was great. He did a great job.
He did do a good job.
And listen, we are on the team. We're on the red card now. The team come through.
You are?
We're on.
Look at you.
So I think that
you
when
can't have the big boy in though. Come on now.
listen,
Not until
we're,
after the year.
we're doing defensive slides. Him and I are doing defensive slides. We're doing nothing but defensive drills because if he can clean up the defense, they're going to go far. But what I'm going to say is, if NC State wins this year,
Then you know.
we know why. That's it. I'm just gonna say this is the first year they're eating Oakwood Pizza Box. It's different when you go to other people like Hungry and and all that other stuff. You can't eat Domino's and win.
Oh,
It's gonna weigh you down.
Oh, I mean, some people just don't know. We'll skip to the other pizza question. If you created your own pie restaurant, aka like Kramer and Poppy, are you more Kramer cucumbers or Poppy? This is no debate, no cucumbers.
Okay.
I'm just taking this question prima facie.
Yes, I understand. This is a loaded question. I appreciate it. I am a Seinfeld fan, so Julie and I did talk about the origin of this debate, which might not be about pizza.
Again, we're just talking about pizza.
Just about pizza. Obviously, I'm anti-cucumber. However,
What vegetable you have?
I-
Mixed greens.
I will say for the audience,
I would like for you to add broccoli. Chopped broccoli.
like broccoli rabe.
You could do some of that, but make broccoli rabe and chop it up
Okay.
with a sausage. Come on, man.
Oh, broccoli rabe. Yeah, you're talking about broccoli. Yeah.
Come on, man.
We do. I bring that in occasionally. It's sporadic. Okay, so I just went to. I saw Ovius is doing some pizza research. I saw some pizza posts. Originally, he went to the wrong Joe's, by the way, for everyone.
Oh, he's not in New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's a picture of the right Joe's.
Good.
Which he redeemed himself. That's the wrong one. Pizza place just opened up in Philadelphia. Pizzeria Salvi is the name of that place. And Mark Vetri, very talented chef, opened that. It was delicious. They used zucchini in a brilliant, brilliant way. The zucchini pie is phenomenal. Reminded me of this cucumber situation. Not quite a cucumber, but it looks kind of like it.
Yeah.
They grate it out. They drain it so it's not wet, watery.
That's what you worry about is the
Oh
moisture.
God, yeah.
That's why you don't really do that many vegetables.
Yeah.
Because you get mad at me when I get the sausage when I get the peppers and onions, you're like, no, it's going to be too.
No,
too
peppers
solid.
and onions is fine. It's just when people start going, the more vegetables I have, the more people just throw stuff on.
Sure.
So the more toppings that are listed, people just go heavier and heavier.
Right.
Go lighter and lighter. Go the opposite direction. Put less on it. My advice, especially if you're taking it to go, do not put 7 ingredients on it.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Before we leave the pizza topic, are your pizza dough balls for the round pie and the square pie different?
They are in most every way the same. They go through a slightly different fermentation process. Basically, they make a right instead of a left.
Okay.
In dairy fermentation.
Why do I like the square pies so much more? I don't just like the round pie.
No, the square pie is great. The square pie is a special pizza. It took me about 1.5 years to figure it out. And by figure it out, we still modify and change things to try to improve it. It took a very, very long time to get to where it is. It's a controlled chaos that works, and frying it off in the pan a little longer, the crispier edges, all that stuff it's delicious. It all happened by mistake. I got lucky as hell.
Perfect. All right, let's end this thing with a baseball question from the ductile Iron Man. 1 pack, 1 goal. Hey, Joe, is it wrong to watch the College World Series hoping for LSU to lose in gut-wrenching fashion? Of course, Iron Man here is a State fan, not happy that Tommy White transferred to LSU for the NIL money. Is it wrong? No, of course it's not wrong. I mean, you don't really want to see the people who were at NC State often go on to succeed. But if you look over my shoulder, you probably see Caleb Martin at this point, a new addition to the room here. But it's kind of is the NC State way, right? Russell Wilson, everybody who leaves usually goes on and does something in a most painful way to the Wolfpack that is the Wolfpack way. LSU, though, got their comeuppance against Wake Forest. Wake's got to beat them again. But they're now the betting favorite. Wake Forest has been the betting favorite. But in my mind, they weren't until they beat an SEC team. Now, they still have to beat LSU. Then they're going to have to probably beat Florida in the best-of-3 championship series. But I am ready after the win over LSU to officially believe in Wake Forest baseball. I don't know if that should scare you.
Yeah, I'm scared now. Sorry, Wake Forest. You're about to. I'm about to run to my local. I'm not talking to the book right now about this one. I'm throwing some shekels the opposite direction.
Trying to get the Gators now.
Yeah.
All right. So you survived on the new set. You survived in the new podcast form.
Phenomenal.
All right. Good.
I'm just happy that I didn't have the other guy in my ear telling me what to do every 30 seconds.
You'll be back tomorrow?
Yeah.
What you got?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do this. We'll be
Let's do
back
it again.
tomorrow. Appreciate you guys for listening. Of course, 5 stars only. Download, subscribe, all those things. Do the thing on YouTube that you're supposed to do. Joe Ovius is the one who always tells you these things. And don't forget, if you email the word square to the oggoesdigital@gmail.com, you'll be entered to win the sleeve of Pro V1s with our OG logo on that you see up there in the top right corner of your computer. They're very sweet. We'll do that. And we'll be back tomorrow with NBA draft. We'll have more talk. We'll have more NBA. And heck, might have another Wake LSU game to talk about. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you then.